One thing I learned during my banking career, the first thing I was trained in, of course, were financial statements, financial statement analysis. And to sit down and take a look at financial statements gives us a very good picture about where a company has been in past tense. That's what accounting is all about. It's not forecasting the future necessarily, although we do prepare budgets and things like that going forward. Take a look at human rights, when we take a look at labor, when we take a look at the environment, what we need to do is to build statements about how we choose to conduct our affairs in business for the benefit of those stakeholders. Right? How we treat the earth is a statement about how we treat all others. This is the one great ecosystem that we all share. And I don't need to tell you that this ecosystem is dying. Truly great companies were companies that began with a commitment to values. And you can name them. The top companies in the world all have very strong values, have cultures of integrity, and look to operate and treat stakeholders all the same. So the first point is, I do think there's not just a business case. I think there's a compelling business case about sitting down and making sure that you're very clear about your non-financial commitments, right, and the way you're going to make your values come alive in your business operations.
The Global Compact in 2000, the former Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Kofi Annan, was at the World Economic Forum, where he met with some business leaders. And he said that it is the absence of the private sector within the UN that, without absence, the UN has not been able to achieve the success that it would have achieved. We are not a regulatory authority. No, we are not. We are a voluntary initiative. That is, we ask companies that where the laws are there, they even go beyond the law. Go beyond that. So even if you say the laws are not there in terms of labor laws, go beyond that and adopt international standards. You want to develop your policy on anti-corruption, we have resources. If you have developed your policies, you want to do training, we have resources to help you. If you have your suppliers, you don't know how to engage with your suppliers, we have tools to help you. If you want to do your training in your organization, we have videos, live videos with human beings to show you, what are the red flags, what should you avoid.
We have quite a number of networks that have been up and doing in Africa, and Nigeria is one of them. But I would say that in Africa we have not fully taken charge. We encourage the local networks to at least, at the minimum, have a steering committee that is elected from within, from the participants, and we expect that steering committee to be multi-stakeholder, where you have every group within the network represented in the steering committee. 2011 report based on the activities, and I actually have the Nigeria page open, which it's like a compilation of all of what the networks have done within the year, and it's actually also available in the network's link of the Global Compact office. Local network is a forum for companies, for civil society, for government agencies who are in the network to work together towards the same goal of development. I learned something a while ago, talking about independence. Everybody, we always want to do our own individual, this is my bit, and you focus on it. But imagine a world where I can depend on the next person. I do this bit, you do this bit, and together, when we put all those little bits together, we have something much bigger than any one individual could accomplish. So that's basically the opportunity that the local network grants the participants.
I want to say that at the Global Compact also, we have different working groups. For example, we have working groups on human rights and working group on anti-corruption, which I head the working group on anti-corruption. Our own perspective is that in the fight against corruption, we need the government, we need the private sector, we need everybody to address corruption collectively. That we need collective efforts in the fight against corruption. While the institutions of governments are fighting corruption in their own way, we also need to address those that are given. In our own case, we're saying that the private sector is a supplier of bribes, when there's interaction between them and governments. And therefore, we also need the private sector to come on board to fight corruption together with us. So it's not only the government, but also the private sector, and you and I, that should collectively, it's a collective effort, and therefore we need to fight corruption together. At the moment, I haven't really seen, the sectors working together. And that's why we are saying, and that's why what we want to do here in Nigeria is to bring the agencies, to bring the companies, and to bring civil society, every one of us together, working collectively. I'm a Yoruba woman that says that, there's a proverb, to the effect that a one person cannot fight this sort of monster. We need everybody to be able to come to the party. We need to be able to come together to fight. We cannot continue to say government when the private sector will be given on the ground. So let's bring everybody together. That's what we're trying to achieve here. A collective action, collective effort in the fight against corruption. Which company, for example, is going to say, I want to sign up to a pact to say that I don't want to fight, I don't want to give bribes again. The other one will say, if I sign it, what of the other ones? If I sign it, then I'll lose business because I've signed up, I'm putting myself up to say that I want to be clean. But the others are getting the contracts, So the challenge, therefore, is to get a critical mass of companies to come together collectively to, sign a pact. I'm not going to be one of those that will be giving bribes. So we need that. But also, we need incentives from governments. What is it? What are the incentives that the government is putting in place for those companies that will say, well, I don't want to give bribes. I don't want to get myself engaged in grand corruption. What are the incentives? Government must put in place incentives to support these companies.
When we operate collectively and we share information in an egalitarian way, it helps each of us individually in our respective countries be more powerful in the way we attempt to address it. Corruption is a very difficult issue to challenge, and for us to try and make gains in it, it has to come and be seen in small steps. It doesn't get eliminated easily or right away. It takes time. But I am seeing collective response and resolve across many different countries in Africa, and I've been very, very pleased to see that because I think it bodes well for the future. The Consumer Protection Bureau was formed as part of the Dodd-Frank Act, and the net result is that it was believed, and I think properly so, per a government investigation, that there was less than candid disclosure about what the various products of the banking industry were promoting. And a lot of consumers got in trouble because they didn't understand the issues that they were getting themselves into. So they were taking out mortgages, unfortunately, that many ultimately could not afford. And so the Consumer Protection Bureau, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, is there to try and help consumers in the United States on banking products and services, financial products and services. So that will also implicate the insurance industry and other industries.
People have been doing a lot in silos, and there's very little you can accomplish, on your own. But when companies get together and find out we're facing the same kind of challenges, we have the same kind of issues, and some people have some solutions that they have developed or have some positive experiences that they can share and with other companies and other people wanting to build up their compliance programs. Those kind of sharing and exchanges encourage the development of a robust program where you are taking advantage of somebody else's learning, what people have been through and what they have developed. You just come into it rather than having to learn from scratch and make probably the same mistakes from the beginning. So definitely I would say yes, the Global Compact has been a very wonderful opportunity for that kind of learning, sharing and action on the ground. I would say we're at the beginning stages, but definitely it could be more, and there could be a lot more done as more and more. There needs to be more people. It's actually a movement, and I would say it's picking up, and we're building momentum towards fully implementing and fully establishing
ethics and compliance in Nigeria. We have like programs where we would have benefits to members, or rather to signatories, and then maybe other people may have to pay for some of those services like trainings and all of that. But I would say there are lots of benefits.
PENCOM, who is our regulator, at the beginning of the scheme, putting a whole lot of mechanisms in place to ensure that this never happens. The contributory pension scheme is quite secure. There's delegation of duties, like we are a pension fund administrator. We have the custodians, so the administrators don't touch the funds. So we register people and the monies go to the custodian. That way, you don't ever get to touch the money that is not for you. At Stanbic IBTC Pension, we take compliance very seriously. In fact, with the new pension scheme too, there's a role of a compliance officer created to ensure that someone is looking into all the activities of the operators. That way, to ensure that the rules and regulations are strictly adhered to. We also have an association, PENUP, and they're actually working on ensuring that people, that we carry all the public along. We're doing an enlightenment campaign to ensure compliance and stuff. I believe we can only get better with this new scheme, and it's the way to go. Because once the money is credited into your RSA, no other person has access to it but you.